Hello guys, this is Panos from Unixmen.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to manage user in a CentOS, Red Hat or Fedora based system or a Debian/Ubuntu system. First of all, you need to know that there are three types of users. We have the normal user, okay, who they just watch things, and we have the super user or root. And this user can change things. It's like an administrator. Now there is a third type, which is a combination of those two. This is the pseudo user, which I like to call like a normal user with a very powerful friend. The same command sudo, it means super user, do things for me. So it makes a normal user to do something that normally couldn't. Sudo or su means aka also known as super user, and allows you to execute commands with elevated privileges. So instead of logging as root, you can temporarily borrow its powers using the sudo command. Okay, so let's try to connect into my CentOS server via SSH. I'm going to log in as root, and this is my IP address for my home CentOS server. I'm typing the password, and okay, I'm inside my CentOS server. Login as root. As you can see, I am logged in as root. So, first of all, let's create a new normal user. Okay, let's create a new account. User add, and next type the username you want to create. Let's say Stark. Okay, the new user Stark has been created, and in order to verify this, we have to take a look at the etchy password file. Great. As you can see here, at the very bottom of this file, we have the bus cell assigned to this account over here. Okay, we have the user's home directory here, and we have the user's ID and the user's group ID and the user's username. Now, in order to assign a password for this user, I'm going to type the command passwd, which stands for password, and next to that I'm going to type the username. Now it asks me for a new password. Let's type a new password. And okay, now the user Stark has a new password. Now I'm going to log out from my server, refresh the screen, pressing Ctrl L, or just do a clear, and log in back as Stark. I'm typing Stark's password, and okay, now I'm logging into the same CentOS server, but not as root, but as a Stark. So let's create a new user. User add, let's say Lannister. Oops. I have no permission deny access, which means I can't do this. Stark is a normal user and can't change things. He just watches them. Let's try to do user add Lannister to ask our friend, our powerful root friend, to do things for us. Okay. No, Stark is not in the sudoers file. You see, Stark has no powerful friends. Okay, in order to change this, we have to make some changes into the sudoers file. To do this, we have to be able to change stuff, and only root or superuser or an administrator can do such stuff. So type su, which stands for superuser, press enter the superuser's password, and as you can see here, now I'm logged in as root. Let's see. Into this system, two users are logged in, root and Stark, and currently I'm root. So to do this, there is a special editor for this job called vi sudo, and the file is etc sudoers. What's the problem? Vi sudo etc sudoers. I can't understand. Vi sudo without any parameters. Okay, and as you can see here, we're looking for some specific line where it is. Okay, here we are. Okay, great. Take a look here. It allows people in group will to run all commands, which means if a user belongs into the will group, and I know which is a group thanks to the percentage sign, then it is able to ask root users a favor. It's like making Stark a guy with a powerful friend. So in order to do this, I have to make Stark join into the will group, or if I want, I can create a new group. Let's say I want another group sudo. Okay, then I have first to make sudo a system group before I can enter this here, or I can type Stark all. This means Stark is a root user, but if you are in a productive system and you want multiple users to act as administrators, this is not a good job to do. Now, if you want to log in as user, but without authentication, without asking you to type the password, you can add the no password all at the end. For example, you can do this and now if I'm going to log in as root, for example using the sudo, okay, it's not going to ask me for a password. It will automatically log me as root. Now let me show you how to do this. Okay, so we comment out this line, and I'm going to add Stark, which is a normal user, into the will group in order to have a powerful friend. Okay, pressing escape, colon, WQ, exclamation mark, and it's saved. Now I'm going to add the Stark into the will group, and in order to do this I have to do the following. I have to be root. Okay, I'm logged in as root, and now I'm going to do user mode G. The G parameter, the G switch, means change the user's primary group into will for the Stark user without the user. Okay, now Stark has joined into the will club, and now it has a powerful friend called sudo. Let's verify this. Groups Stark, and as you can see here, Stark now it's a member of the will group. Okay, let's exit and now log in as Stark. Okay, good. Now let's create another user. User add, let's say Lannister, but here is a denial because Stark is a normal user. Okay, now in order to ask our root friend a favor, I'm going to use the sudo command. Superuser, please do this for me. To do what? User add Lannister. And because we are into the will group, we are able to use the sudo command. I'm typing the password and good. As you can see now, there is a new user called Lannister. Okay guys, this is all about CentOS. Now I'm going to show you how to do the same thing, the same stuff in a Debian system, which is a little bit different. So I'm going to exit. Before I'm going to do this, I want to show you how to delete a user. Okay, so sudo user del /r and the username of the user you want to delete, Lannister. Okay, now Lannister has been deleted. There is no Lannister here. The reason I put the R switch, it's because it deletes users' home directory. For example, home Lannister is deleted simultaneously when you delete the same user. Also, R stands for recursive, which means it deletes all the dirs, sub-dirs, sub-dirs of the Lannister user. So, if you want to delete a user and you don't want to keep his files, you can use the R. For example, user del /r. If you want to keep his files, you just don't use the /r command. Okay, that's enough for now. Let's exit and log in into my Ubuntu server. SSH. I'm going to log in as drpaneas, which is my username, and this is my Ubuntu server IP. Okay, great. Now let me create a new user. Sudo add user. Let's create again the Stark user. It asked me to create a new password, as you can see. It asked me for a full name. Panos, this, okay, my room number, okay, yes, it's correct, okay, ADC, password, and you can see this is my new user, my normal new user called Stark. Okay, let's exit and log in as Stark. So SSH, Stark, the IP of my Ubuntu server, typing the password, and I'm in. Now, again, Stark is a normal user who has no powerful friends. For example, sudo user add Lannister, it's not going to make it because Stark is not in the sudoers file, which means Stark has no powerful friends. So let me first show you how to create a new group, or just let's log in as root using the sudo /i, and now I am root. Okay, let's use vsudo sudo let's see what you can do here. I'm going to I don't think it will work here because it's Ubuntu and not CentOS. Okay, yes, so I have to exit and log in again as Dr. Paneas, which is a user which has root privileges. Okay. Now I can vsudo vsudo. Okay, now it's good because Dr. Paneas is a user which is a member of the wheel group. And as you can see here in Ubuntu, there is no wheel group, but there is an admin group and a sudo group. There is no wheel group. So you can select between them. I will go with sudo in order to make Stark able to do stuff. Or you can add a new group, let's say sudo or whatever you want, let's say not wheel but car, whatever, all, just to make you able to do with any group you want, not just sudo or wheel group or admin group. You can do with whatever group you want. Okay, so escape. This is nano. Okay, I'm going to do Control X, yes, and now I have to create the new group, not user add but group add car. And now, as you can see here, Dr. Paneas is a member of Dr. Paneas ADM CD-ROM sudo. That's why I was able to do sudo vsudo deep plug dev lp admin samba cert etc. And in order to add Stark into the new group called car, I'm going to do this sudo user mode g, which g means change the user's primary group into car, or sudo or admin, but I'm going to use car just to show you an alternative. Stark. User mode, not user. Okay. Now, groups Stark. Stark is a member of the user group car, which means now Stark is able to execute commands as sudo, which means Stark has a very powerful friend called root. Let's see this. So I'm going to log in back as Stark, SSH, Stark. Okay. Why am I waiting so much? Let's try again. Okay, don't know why. Okay, now I have logged in as Stark and user. I'm able to use the sudo command. Let's try, for example, sudo add user, what, let's say Jon Snow. Stark is not in the sudoers file. This incident will be reported. Too bad. It means that I'm not able to use the car group or something like that. Just let me do once again SSH to see what was the problem here. So sudo vsudo, okay, go down and I forgot the %sign. Okay, my bad. The %sign indicates which is a group. Car is a group, not a user. So car now is a group and everything is great. Okay, don't forget the %sign. Now let's do again an effort. SSH Stark. Okay, good sudo user add Jon Snow, and yes, as you can see, you have many ways now, many alternate ways to do the same thing. You know how to manage users and groups into CentOS, Red Hat, Fedora, Debian, Ubuntu, OpenSUSE, whatever. I think you know enough to play around. Thanks guys, go to unixmen.com for more information.